Welcome Dan at danliberto.com into this video number 3 of the MCOM Leadership Series. And it's my hope and prayer that the last 2 videos have been a benefit to you and you had the opportunity to work through and reflect on the worksheets that were provided. And perhaps you've identified some areas in your mindset or in your attitude that need to be shored up. And so you have established some key disciplines that can be executed regularly and start to change behavior, change habits, and get you back on track to who you want to be and where you want to go. And it's really fulfilling for me to get your feedback and hear how the MCOM leadership program has impacted your lives and raised your leadership lid. And so I appreciate that feedback. It's like I said, it's exciting and it's fulfilling for me to be a part of your journey. So I encourage you to continue to send me feedback in that regard. But today we're going to talk about attitude. We're going to talk about your brand. Everybody's got brand preferences, whether it's a car we drive or the smartphones that we carry. These are brand preferences based on the fact that we know, like, and trust. Well, you and I also have, but we present a brand. And we present a brand to those we interact with, including ourselves. And a big part of that brand is our attitude. There's a saying that says, people may not remember what you say, but they will always remember how you made them feel. And I was recently spent some time in Peru, and there was a young street vendor that each and every day he would greet us at our hotel entrance, and he, instead of showing us his wares and buy, he had a different approach. He'd connect with us. Oh, are you enjoying your vacation? Have you had breakfast? Are you going out to enjoy the day? Hello, ma'am. Hello, sir. How are you? He connected with us each day before he shared with us what he was selling. Well, now because he was an artist, I've been trying to get a picture of John Wang hung on the walls of Casa de Liberto for many years now, and my wife keeps vetoing that. So that's clearly not an area I had influence in, but there was nothing that moved her to buy. However, this young man continued to connect with us each and every time we talked with him. And so after some time, I decided, regardless of whether the picture would ever show up on the wall, I decided to become a customer of his. And that's the impact that each you and I have on other people with our attitude. See, if we want to make real change in our life, we have to work on our thoughts. We talked about that in video number 1, our mindset. We have to work on our attitude. We're going to talk about that a bit today. And we got to work on our skills. And the MCOM leadership program is infusing that. And then, of course, we have to work on our communication. See, we got to win on the inside before we can win on the outside. And so here's some key areas that I want to focus on for winning. And the first one we want to talk about is your attitude is a choice. Each and every day, we make a choice whether we're going to dress ourselves up with a smile or whether we're going to dress ourselves up with a frown. Viktor Frankl, who is a psychotherapist and a Holocaust survivor, wrote a book called Man's Search for Meaning. And it's a difficult big book to read because it recounts a lot of his experience in the Nazi death camps. But there's a wonderful quote that comes out of there. It says, "Everything can be taken from a man but one thing. The last of the human freedoms, to choose one's attitude in any given set of circumstances, to choose one's own way." See, you can take choice. You have the choice in your life how you are going to conduct your attitude, how your attitude is going to be. You can take ownership of that. You can complain or be a whiner, or you can be solution oriented. You can take ownership. Don't play the blame game. And here's one. I want you to write this down. I want you to forgive yourself for yesterday and then move on. See, each one of us has things that we regret and things that we wish we hadn't done. But the reality of it is we did, and we've got to move on past that. All right? See, how you view your job and your future goes a long way to your attitude and your career. All right, so clearly the choice is yours each and every day. Now here's some attitude attackers Things that are going to happen because we live in a fallen world, discouragement. Not every day is going to go the way we want, so we need to be able to manage that discouragement. Problems are going to happen. So again, like I mentioned earlier, be solution oriented. Instead of focusing on the abyss, focus on the bridge that you're going to build across it. Change. Anybody who wants to grow, change is inevitable. So be prepared for that. Don't live in fear. Don't let fear be the strong man in your mind. Don't avoid failure, because here's the deal. Failure in our society has a bad connotation, but the reality of it is success, real success, anybody who's had success is built on many, many steps of failure. Failure is a requirement to have any kind of success in anybody's life. So change your mindset on whether how you view failure, and move forward with that. Be okay with it. All right. See, by our attitude, we decide to read or not to read. We decide to try or to give up. We decide to advance or to recede. We decide to take ownership or to blame. We decide to tell the truth or live in a lie. See, that's the thing. Your attitude, the choice is yours. So what are some of the areas that you today are focusing on that are giving you, that's starting your day off wrong? Maybe you can identify those areas that you need to shore up your attitude, and then create some disciplines around those. Maybe some affirmations, some reminders throughout the day that would cheer you up, that would give you some kind of positive affirmation to turn that frown into a smile. So each and every day, you greet the day with your brand and how you want that brand to be, a winning attitude. The second thing I want to talk about is your strength zone. Each one of us has talents and gifts that are inherent to our design, how we were created. If you operate in those talents and in those giftings, you're operating in your strength zone. Now, some of us take everything too seriously. We don't want to do that. When we take ourselves too seriously, humor is a wonderful way to keep not only your attitude up, but everyone's attitude up. Massive success comes from teams, and teams are built with an infection of vision and positive attitude. Humor helps that, and you not taking yourself too seriously also helps that. Robert Frost, a wonderful author, he says, if we couldn't laugh, we would all go insane. Right? So avoid the bad apples. And here's some of the bad apples. Indifference. Indifference is a lack of vision. Indecision. Indecision is the thief. Let me say it this way. Indecision is the thief of opportunity. We talked about focusing on the obstacles instead of the opportunity. It's the thief of opportunity. So make a decision. Don't be fearful about failure and all those other things. Make that decision and move forward. And then worry. Avoid worry by coming up with a plan. Have a plan, have faith in the plan that you have a plan, and continue to move forward. Doubt is another one. Overcaution, pessimism. See, there's more sides than just the dark side. Pessimism is good to count the cost, but don't stay there. Don't stay in the pessimistic world. Look for the opportunity. And of course, we mentioned complaining also. So in your life, focus on some areas that you are not operating in your strength zone, and perhaps you're taking yourself too seriously, and then establish a criteria or a discipline that you can interact daily to start to change that habit and that behavior that will keep you in your strength zone and keep your positive, your smile turned upward. Okay. The last thing I want to talk about is gratitude. Your attitude, if you have an attitude of gratitude, then it's always a good thing to be uplifted, because if you're thankful for even the hardships that you went through, our hardships, even though they're difficult to go through, our hardships still provide a positive influence on us, because we have to think critically and we have to move beyond those, and we have to bring people with us through those solutions. So have an attitude of gratitude for those things that are difficult, that you've been through, that you've learned, those opportunities that you've had to learn from other people, from your experiences, whatever the case might be. There is always a reason to be thankful. Even in the most difficult times, there is always a reason to be thankful for what you have and what you can do with the resources at your hand. A book I would recommend there is The Difference Maker by John Maxwell, because he talks about the attitude. Although the attitude isn't everything, the attitude is a difference maker in how you perceive your life. Because if you've got a good attitude, even though you aren't everything you need to be, with a good attitude, a positive attitude, you have the ability to move in that direction. So think about some key areas that you should be thankful for, that you can be thankful for, and then spend some time in your reflection time, and think about those things, those obstacles, those difficulties that have been passed in your way, and how you've grown from them. Focus on the growth and not so much the difficult time, and you will continue to move your path forward. So I hope this was beneficial. Those three key areas of positive attitude. Send me your feedback. I love to hear that. Until next time, I thank you so much for your time, and have a good day. Bye now.